Hey everybody, come on in. This is Conspiracy Theories and Chill. We're going to start in just a minute. I give a little time for people to get in and share, like, all of that. Don't forget to do that. That helps trick the computer, the Facebook and YouTube algorithms into thinking that this is good, and then people will come in and watch it. It'll get out to more feeds. So interact in the show. Plus, this is an interactive show. That's the other thing. So that's all part of it. So take part, interact, comment, and let me see who's here. It looks like there's a couple people here on YouTube. Welcome to the show. This is Conspiracy Theories and Chill. We do this every week on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Looks like we got a few here on Facebook. Hey, Jeff, Ginger, Steve, Paul, the top fan is here. Top fan Paul is here. Looks like we got a few here. I'm not seeing everybody yet. It's hopefully it's not glitching on Facebook, but it's freezy on my computer, but that's probably just my computer because YouTube looks fine. So I'm going to continue forward. But this is Conspiracy Theories and Chill, and we do this, like I said, every Wednesday at 8. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the media, and we're going to be focusing on how the media became a weapon in this country, in this world. And it's always been a weapon. We're going to get into all of that and kick that around. But we can talk about absolutely any conspiracy theory you want. And a lot of them will tie into our main topic anyway. So um, settle in, share, invite your friends, all of that. We're going to start a video that I made for you here in, I don't know, let's say 3 minutes. We'll start the video because it looks like I got to work some kinks out. It looks like it just failed on Facebook for a second, but everything looks like it's back now. I want to make sure that we're solid before we move forward with the video. But I made a short video, and the way this usually works is I make a quick little video and about our topic. Tonight our topic is how the media became a weapon. So, in the history of that. So I made a short video and we're going to watch that. And then that's meant to start the conversation. So we're going to get into a lot of different stuff after the video. I have some stuff planned out, but it always goes pretty good. We usually have real good interaction and we usually get way into the topic. So we're going to go way into the media and how it's used against us and the ways it's done today, the ways it's been done throughout time. It's always been a weapon. You know, the media is a weapon. That's what it is, unfortunately. And the internet is part of the media. The YouTube and Facebook and where we're watching this show right now is part of the media. But like any weapon, it can be used for good and it can be used for evil. So we are getting an opportunity to use it for good, to spread truth. Well, that's what this show is about, is spreading the truth. That at its core, this is supposed to be fun in a way where people can come in and hang out with us and get exposed to things they wouldn't normally be exposed to. That's the idea behind this show. So it's interactive and we hang out and we chat and kick around any topic at all. So come on in and share. If you're here on YouTube, remember to subscribe. And because we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, we're almost there. So that'd be a good way to help me if you want on Facebook. There's a good group on Facebook here. Is come to the YouTube channel, Me on Things and Stuff, maybe now or after the feed, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that because I need a little bit of help, just a little push to get to 1,000. But what we're going to do here in just a minute is we're going to play the video that I made for you guys. I'm going to pull that up and we're going to play that and watch it. And that's going to give me a chance to look at the stream on Facebook and see if Facebook is having trouble, because YouTube is not. So YouTube seems to be going really good. So if you're having trouble on Facebook, come to YouTube, Me on Things and Stuff, and check it out. I'll even add the link. If I find out that there's problems on Facebook, I'll add the link. But during the video, I'll get a chance to check on that because I'm not seeing any comments or nothing, so something's wrong. But we'll fix it during the video. We're going to start the video here in just a second. And tonight's video, like I said, is going to be about how the media is a weapon and how that happened. How it happened throughout time. And it's just going to be a brief look. The videos usually just are a brief look at the topic, a way to start the conversation, to get us talking. You know, I have a lot more written down to get into, so we'll hang out after the video. We always do. So stick around. But let me get this ready for us. I would have had it ready already, but I can't, on this computer, I can't get it to load a video and my music at the same time, which kind of sucks, but alright, we're almost ready with the video here. But let me get that ready and let me bring in the film strip. Oh, that's not going to work. Let me do this. Alright, now we're going to start the video that I made for you guys. Welcome back to Conspiracy Theories and Chill. On this episode, we are going to discuss the mass media and look briefly into its history and how it became what it is today, a weapon of mass deception. Thanks for watching this video, and remember to like, share, and subscribe to follow our channel and future content. Click the bell to get notified of when we post new videos. But the media and the sharing of information have been around in some form since the beginnings of time. But the mass media, as we know it today, really first began with the invention of the printing press, which made reproduction of information easier, and the first newspapers began circulating in the early 17th century. By the early 1800s, high circulation newspapers were beginning to develop huge readerships, and printed news had taken hold of the society. High-speed printing methods and the development of the nation's rail system sped up production and widened the distribution of newspapers to reach more consumers. And by the 19th century, newspapers began using photographs, and interest in newspapers increased dramatically, solidifying their place in our culture and history. Radio was eventually added to the mix years later, and the first radio station, KDKA, out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, took to the airways on November 2nd, 1920. For a while, radio and newspaper were all alone in the media, but television joined them in the 40s, with most American homes owning a television set by the late 40s. And by the time that color was added to TV broadcasts in 1953, the CIA had already fully infiltrated and took over the mass media and weaponized it. Now, since the beginning of time, those in power have always used information for control over the masses. They have always controlled the means of production and the distribution of information throughout history with their money. But in its infancy, there was still journalistic integrity in the media and real reporting, which, coupled with the powers endowed upon the press by the Constitution, gave them the role of the fourth wall of our government and a way to keep the powerful held accountable. But over the years, and as it grew in power and influence, the media was taken over by both the intelligence community and bought up by wealthy business interests, and the reporters and journalists of the past were replaced with disinformation agents and vacant talking heads that blindly regurgitated an establishment approved narrative without question. Slowly, journalism died off completely in the mainstream media and was replaced with misinformation, propaganda, and public relations for the rich and powerful corporations and the wealthy predators that are lording over us. And this is the unfortunate reality of the situation. But how did this happen? How did we end up with a weaponized propaganda machine for a mass media that is just masquerading as real news and whose sole purpose is to misdirect and misinform the masses? How did things get to the point where the average American is so oblivious to what is actually happening in the world or even their own country? Well, to begin with, the media didn't become a weapon. It has always been one. Every form of media we have ever had has been used to influence the masses in some way. Way before the printed word, information has been used to keep the masses in line. It's not a new concept to misinform and distract the people. It's just been perfected throughout time. The methods used against us today have been mastered for hundreds of years throughout every great society and throughout all of recorded time. The methods used against us today were fine-tuned way back during the days of Hitler and the Nazi regime. Like I said, propaganda and misinformation is an age-old tactic of control, but the Nazis really perfected the science. And then we brought those same Nazis here to America to continue their work at the CIA, which, as I said, infiltrated the media before color TVs were even fully rolled out yet. The media was officially weaponized in the 1950s by the CIA during Operation Mockingbird, a CIA operation to infiltrate the media, at all levels, with the express purpose of making sure that everything that the average American believes is a lie. Now, that's a direct quote from then director of the CIA. Their purpose is to deceive society and portray to them an alternate version of reality and provide the masses with distractions to keep them looking the wrong direction so they never see the real truth of things. So the media was admittedly infiltrated by the CIA and weaponized to mislead and misinform the average person way back in the 50s. Now that's on record and verifiable. And even though they claim that they stopped, they are professional liars, and there's no reason to believe that they ever stopped or gave up such a weapon that gave them so much power. And since the 50s, the ultra-rich predator class has bought up all the media, all of it. And today, Just six corporations control everything that you read, see, and hear in the mainstream media. And all of that was made possible by Slick Willie Clinton, who did a fantastic job of fooling everyone into believing a false reality in which he had everyone's best interests at heart and not dollar signs in his eyeballs like some cartoon wolf. Bill Clinton signed the Telecommunications Act in 1996, allowing this monopoly of information that exists today. He also moved the Democratic Party so far right that the Republicans went insane to compete and enriched himself greatly in the process. He was bought off, just like the media has been, and it's all about building and maintaining power. Those in power know that knowledge truly is power, and these predators understand that, and they have kept truth from the masses in order to increase their power and control over us for centuries. They want us dumb and happy, distracted, and paying no attention to what is actually taking place in the world. And they use the media to do that, and it works quite well, and has gotten to a point where the predator class can even edit truth in real time. They control everything now, and they suppress and eliminate the truth using all sorts of means. Technological advances have made it easier and easier for them to do this, and over time they have created a literal matrix in which everything that the average person believes is a lie, and reality is being fully hidden from them. They can and do edit reality in real time, especially now that the internet has been added to their arsenal. They now have the power to bury the truth like never before. And this is all heading quickly towards a dystopian nightmare scenario straight out of 1984. And it is up to the woke to wake the others. Things are too far gone as far as the media goes. And it is our job to fight back against it if we want to stop this nightmare future from becoming a reality. The mainstream media is a weapon of mass deception, and it is too broken to be fixed. It needs to be destroyed, killed off, and rebuilt from the ground up. So abandon it. It will only die if we turn away from it and take ratings, views, and clicks away from it. Turn it off. Turn on independent media instead. Find and support good independent shows and journalists and seek out your own truth, but most importantly, defend it. The truth is literally being eliminated right now, and if we don't fight to protect it, it will die off entirely. The media is a weapon. It is our enemy. It must be destroyed, and we must be the ones to destroy it. Now, this was just a brief overview of how the media was weaponized. I could have bored you to death with dates and statistics, but this was more aimed at the advanced class, those that already understand the situation and are more interested in what they can do about it. And I think that all that we can do is destroy it. And we do that by spreading the truth and exposing it for what it is, a weapon of mass deception used against all of society every day to hold us back and keep us weak. We have got to be the media. We have got to spread the truth. And we have got to wake the others. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Conspiracy Theories and Chill from me on Things and Stuff. Alright guys, that was the video that I made. I could have made a much longer video. This ended up being a lot like the MK Ultra video, where halfway through I realized I was biting off more than I could chew. There's literally too much to go into in the history of the media for a 10 to 15 minute video. So I went to the low end, to a 10-minute video, just giving a broad stroke view of how it became the weapon it is in America. I left out a lot in doing that, which I hope to get to in the discussion here as we talk about it. But let's see who's here on YouTube. Go ahead and comment. Let me know that you're here. Take part in the show, in the discussion. We're going to talk about the media. We're going to talk about propaganda and the things that are used against us as weapons and that come out of the TV in our living room and the radio and the newspapers and Hollywood movies. All of it is controlled and used as a weapon against us. And media always has been used as a weapon. The powerful know that knowledge is power, like we talked about in the video. So they use that. Kathy says your plan is being implemented by millions who no longer own a television, like my mom and me. Good evening. Hey, Kathy. That's great. That's good to hear. I like hearing that. I want to be the media. I want us to be the media and support independent shows and independent journalism and then things like that. I think that's what we need to do moving forward. I think that that's what's going to move us forward is us supporting independent shows and independent entertainment. Jose on YouTube says 2 years with no cable TV. That is great. I don't have it. I don't have it at all. I do have Hulu and Netflix, but everything I have is internet. You know, I haven't disconnected. I don't think I could give up my connection to the world and to information. That would be tough. That would be really hard. I really don't think I could do that. I wouldn't want to do it, you know. But 2 years with no cable TV, I get that. I have unplugged completely from the mainstream media. I don't watch it. It's a weapon. It's dangerous, really. It's propaganda and it's negative on purpose. They have done studies and found out that people respond better to negative information. And that's what they show because they want ratings. They want views and people want negativity. Unfortunately, they won't admit it or own up to it, but they do. That's what's popular. That's what thrives. That's what they focus on. But there's so much more to what they're doing. It's not just misdirecting focus. It's so much more. It's a weapon. Jose says I called the news bad, depressing news. Yeah, it is depressing on purpose too, though. Like I said, I've done studies. That's what's popular. So they put it wall to wall. That it's all about giving the people what they want. They need views. They want those repetitive clicks. They feed into it. But they also program what they want. You know what I mean? They build a reality and then manipulate it. It's multi-tiered. There's so much to it and it's been perfected over hundreds of years. There's only been the technology of radio and TV and internet for, as long as they've existed. What radio was 1920, so almost 100 years. But before that it even happened. It's always happened. Even when they were getting information across, you know, by runners and horses, and there's always been manipulation of information. That's a power tactic. I don't know. I guess Facebook's okay. Someone on Facebook let me know if it's laggy because on my computer it's completely frozen. Like it's not even working. But I'm seeing comments show up and I'm seeing people here, but not very many. You know, there's like 3 here. It has some shares, but is it broken? Is it not working? Someone let me know. YouTube's working fine, by the way, so come to me on things and stuff on YouTube. It's been excellent the entire time as far as my settings go. Stream's solid, no problems. So come on over and hang out on me on things and stuff if you're having trouble on Facebook. But Kathy says I can't use YouTube on my tablet, but this Facebook app still works. So we're working good on Facebook. All right, cool. Maybe I got thrown in Facebook jail again. I get thrown in Facebook jail all the time now. Not regular Facebook jail, not real Facebook jail, but Facebook sharing jail, which is the worst kind of Facebook jail you can put me in. If I can't share, then I can't get anybody in to watch what I'm doing. And that's terrible for me, as a content creator. I make these little shows to get them out. I'm trying to be a professional live streamer, and this is one of my main shows. It'd suck if I got put in Facebook jail for sharing it. But at the same time, that's what's happening. We'll get into that too. This corporate censorship has been corporatized, and they're shutting down the truth through corporations, suppressing it and throttling it, keeping it suppressed with their algorithms and their search engines and all of the different tactics and ways that they keep things down and keep information away from people. They use all of that. But something we didn't get into at all is Edward Bernays. He was very influential in all of this as far as the propaganda goes. He is like the grandfather of propaganda itself, but media propaganda, especially any types of propaganda. Everyone that used propaganda basically studied Bernays and took a lot from his work, if not involved him in their work. He was directly involved in a lot of things, you know, things as basic as tobacco, promoting tobacco, specifically use with women. That was frowned upon in the day, and his job was to make that popular, make it popular for women to smoke. And he did a fantastic job of it. He also was responsible for fluoride being in the water. Was the publicity guy for fluoride. So he's responsible for some pretty awful stuff. And he inspired Joseph Goebbels, a lot of different people. And that research was continued on in the CIA with Operation Mockingbird, and those same ideas and same philosophies were carried on. And it all stems from Bernays' work. And he was, it's a fascinating story. He's related to Sigmund Freud. He's the nephew, I believe, of Sigmund Freud. And used a lot of Freud's research and is actually responsible for the fact that Freud is so popular and so well known is because of Bernays. But we didn't get into Bernays at all in the video. We got into Goebbels a little bit because America's mainstream media, and I can only vouch for America. We're streaming on VK, so anyone here on VK, let me know about Russia's social media or mainstream media. I don't know what the situation is. I can only speak for Americans, but America's social media manipulation system was, I feel, perfected during the Nazi regime. That's where a lot of it came from. The CIA was born from Nazis. Most of the beginning people from the CIA were from Operation Paperclip. We brought over all these Nazi scientists, researchers, etc., and then started all these different organizations with them. We wanted all the research. We wanted everything they were doing. Like fluoride. They were using fluoride in the Nazi concentration camps. Hitler had found out, and knew that fluoride makes people dumb and docile and makes them good workers. Keeps them from rising up. And they put it in the water. And they continued that here in the United States. To this day, they put fluoride in the water, and it is not for your teeth. It is not beneficial to your teeth. It is not for dental health. And they know that. What's it for? Well, maybe it's for exactly what it's been used for time and maybe it's to keep us dumb and docile, you know. But Edward Bernays is responsible for that. Propaganda was used to sell that. They convinced dentists to say it was good for you based on nothing. And to this day, it persists. It's in everything. Every toothpaste has fluoride. You gotta have strong teeth, right? It's nothing. It has nothing to do with strong teeth. And the fluoride that's in toothpaste and in the water is the sodium fluoride. It's a byproduct of industrial waste. That's what it is. It's from making aluminum, and it's a byproduct of that, and it's released when that's in those foundries. That's what's in the water. That's what's in toothpaste, not naturally occurring fluoride. But even naturally occurring fluoride doesn't strengthen your teeth. That's proven to be a myth, and that's well known now. Kathy says, "There you are. Did I go away? Oh, I don't know what she means, but her picture changed. Is everything consistent still on YouTube? It looks like we're still good on YouTube. If you're here on YouTube, go ahead and comment anything you guys want to get into. The show will be shorter if there's no comments. I work off the comments. So interact. This is an interactive show. Feel free to talk. Don't think you can't participate just because I don't stop talking. I'm just filling air. I'm just filling the air time and making sure there's no dead air. But when I run out of notes, we'll run out of show. But the media is a weapon, and that's something that I wanted to make sure that we get across no matter what. Everybody should know that. I think everybody does know it. That's why the video I made was more focused on just briefly giving the story of how it and why it is and what made it possible and all of that. So it would be a good way to get it out there to people. But I want to take another crack at it. I want to make a longer form video about the history of the media becoming a weapon. So I'm going to add it to the list of the ones I'm going to do longer versions of. Richard says Russia Today, or RT, is one of my favorite alternative news sources, along with Press TV, which is Iranian, and Telesur, which covers mostly South America. Those are fantastic examples. I only personally blah, 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 know of two, but Telesur is new to me. I would have to look into that, but I think I've heard briefly of Press TV, and I like RT. I'm a big fan of RT. Many of their shows are very good, and it doesn't bother me that they're funded by Russia. I use VK as well. That's Russia social media. I don't have a problem with that. I'm about spreading the truth. The truth is relevant no matter where you are, and if it's popular, it'll catch on, and if it's not, it won't. Well, I wish that was the only barometer, but we're against heavy throttling and we're against heavy suppression. That's another reality of things. But there is also more influence from the CIA than just Operation Mockingbird, because Mockingbird tied in with MK Ultra. There are elements of MK Ultra in the media as well as hypnotism and different things, subliminal messaging. But propaganda is the most dangerous thing used by the media, because they can do so much with it. It's such a powerful weapon. Just the science of it, and they have it mastered. They have it down to a science. They can manipulate people, and they do a fantastic job of it. These highly paid talking heads, that's what they do, is sell weaponized propaganda, and they manipulate reality and people's perception of it in real time. It's scary. And people want to say, well, that can't happen, it can't be controlled like that. Yes, it can. It's all owned by 6 corporations. It all comes out of 6 boardrooms. All of it. It absolutely can be controlled, and it is controlled. And it is full of propaganda. It's a weapon. But Kathy says we're good. So Facebook's good. It's just on my end. YouTube's been solid the whole time. But comment and take part in the show and let me know what you want to talk about. I focus mostly on the infiltration by the CIA, because that is when it officially became a weapon. I don't think that's undeniable, and you can verify that. That's something you can look up for yourself and see. I didn't make that up. The CIA infiltrated the media in the 50s, and their express purpose in doing so was to make sure that everything the American people believed was a lie, to distort reality and distort the truth so much that no one knew really what was going on. That was their purpose in infiltrating the media, expressed by them. There was congressional hearings and declassified documents. This is all out there. That's known. That's why I felt like that was important to focus on, you know. And I didn't spend a lot of time in focusing on like Edward Bernays, for example, because that's all very interesting. That's fascinating. Look into it. But it's a weapon and it's proven is what I wanted to get across. That was the most important thing I really wanted to drive home was that there's proof that it's a weapon. So I wanted to focus heavily on the infiltration by the CIA. The monopoly of the media is real too, and I hit that in the video because I wanted to talk about that too. People want to say it can't be done. It's already been done. 6 companies own all of it. Everything you read, see, or hear is all owned and controlled by 6 corporations. That's a fact. That's the reality of the situation. You know, you can deny it all you want, but that doesn't stop it from being the reality of the situation. Truth doesn't stop being truth just because you decide to ignore it and look away. Or if you're brainwashed and tricked by the media into looking away, it's still the truth and it still matters. And I'm going to do all I can to spread it, even though we're being suppressed. I know I'm being suppressed. Kathy says, "Did you watch the impeachment hearings this morning?" Not at all. I don't care about it. I'm not interested in it at all. I mean, it's probably interesting, and I probably should look at it just for research and conversation's sake, but I just don't care. What makes me angry about the whole thing is that we're not talking about what he exposed. Why can't we talk about that? Because he's running for president? He can't win. He never could win. What if he's only running for president so you can't talk about that? What about that? That's not outside the realms of possibility. Kathy says, "Do you think their president intimidating a witness in real time is going to bite him in the ass?" Maybe. I've not been following it. I hope something bites Trump in the ass. I don't like him. I'm not proud he's our president. I'm ashamed of it. But I don't have TDS. I'm not afraid of him. And I know they're not afraid of him. The powers that be are very happy with Trump. They're content. They don't want any change. They don't want things to be different. They like things just the way they are. They want it all to stay the way it is. So things aren't broken. They're built this way. That's very important to understand. But I just the ambassador's testimony confirmed firsthand witness of the quid pro quo. Okay. All right. I'm right on. So he baited him into giving him the information. Cool. So we'll impeach him. That's great. Yeah, that would confirm it if that's what happened. I know nothing about it. I swear I just don't care. I've tried to, but I quit paying attention when we couldn't focus on what Biden had done. That turned me off to the whole thing. The way he found out might have been illegal, and other things might have been illegal since. There could have been a lot of developments in that story. I stopped paying attention to it entirely because I felt like this impeachment is a distraction from the crimes. They're trying to get you to look over here. Well, look what he did to find out. Well, okay, but what did he find out? Isn't that important? Like, I don't like that we're not allowed to talk about that. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And if Trump was wrong, then he was wrong, and he should be dealt with. But all the rest of it matters too. That's what I'm saying. The rest of it's important as well. And them focusing on the impeachment and giving it so much attention, I don't know. That's suspicious too. Whenever the cameras are all pointed at something, I'm suspicious of it. So it just has all kinds of red flags. I just haven't been following it. Kathy says, you mean the fact of Biden's corruption in Ukraine? It's not like there must be more to that comment, but it's not showing it to me right now. Yeah, yeah, no, I'm glad. If there's been stuff uncovered that Trump did wrong, I'm thrilled. That's great. Not super happy about Mike Pence being president though. There's still so much we gotta do, and I know he won't be president for long, but that's the best that we get, right? I mean, is there some other impeachment prize? Like, we don't even, he might not even leave office. Bill Clinton was impeached and finished his term. So we may get nothing here. Is there a reason to be excited? Maybe I should be paying attention. Sell me on it. Maybe it is important to pay attention to. Because I stopped watching the mainstream media altogether. And the sites that I follow really haven't focused much on it. They cover it. It's not like they ignore it, but I think they're more realistic about it, and see that, like what I was saying, that in the big picture, it, it's it seems more of a diversion, a distraction from something. Hey Nissa, hey Mike. Mike shared a YouTube link. I can't see what it is. I'm really frustrated with my computer. The Facebook on my end is frozen solid. It looks like it's completely still, and it's just broken on my end. I hope it's not that way on your end. I've been told in the comments that it's not. YouTube's fine though. Come to me on things and stuff on YouTube. But we're trying, and I'm doing my best to talk about the media and how the media has been made a weapon. But the impeachment hearing is, I'm not saying it's not fascinating, it's not interesting, it is. I don't know. Kathy says that's why I don't want him impeached. Pence is worse. Pence is worse. And then you look at what the Democratic Party is doing. They're trying all they can to not run their winner and run anybody but their winner. And every one of them would lose. I think even to Pence, especially if you impeach Trump. Trump has a huge fan base. That's something everybody needs to be realistic about. Whether you like him or not, a lot of people do. And they're not bad people. They're good people. They have good intentions. They like him for different reasons. It's hard to explain. I have good friends that like him. They really like him a lot. I don't understand it, but I respect them. I respect all kinds of different beliefs and ideas. But I try to stay open-minded. I don't want to live in a box. Kathy says both sides of this definitely need to be exposed. Absolutely. And maybe when both sides are being exposed, I'll be more interested. But all anybody really wants to talk about is what Trump did wrong. I'm sure Trump did a lot of things wrong. You know my opinion of Trump, and it's just a personal opinion. It's not based on Trump derangement syndrome or any kind of personal or political. Well, it is personal, but not political. It's not political. I just don't like the man. I don't see redeeming qualities in him. And people say, well, he cares about America. Why does he make all of his products in Mexico and China? Well, everybody's like, well, he's a good businessman. That's smart business. Well, is it? If you deeply cared about America and American jobs, is it what you would do? I don't think it is. Just for smart business. And then, well, he's going to keep out illegal immigrants and he's going to do something about the border and immigration problems. He uses illegal immigrants to enrich himself. So he does all these things. I don't, maybe he'll prove me wrong. And I'm wrong all the time. Could happen. I could be wrong. I want to be wrong. He's the president. I don't want the president to do a bad job. So I hope that these people that believe in him are right. And 70 years of existence on this planet has what that's shown us doesn't mean anything, and he's had a change of heart and he's going to be a hero. I just don't see it. I don't get it. But I don't think he's shown you any reason to feel that way. This is not a political show. I need to remind myself of that. Kathy says the Dems are insane. Bernie is the only one who can beat the Orange Ape. They'd rather lose the presidency than their gravy train. Absolutely, they would rather lose than let us win. It's about letting us win. It's not about stopping Bernie. They're not afraid of Bernie Sanders. They're afraid of us. They're afraid of what Bernie represents. They're afraid of the people. They don't ever want the people to realize their true power, and they've used the media and information since the beginning of time to make sure that we never do. But what do you guys want to get into? We've been talking about the media being a weapon. We talked about different things. I'm looking for comments on what you guys want to talk about. Kathy wanted to talk about the impeachment, but I just don't know anything about it. I knew about the beginnings of the story, and then I stopped caring. When they didn't want to talk about Biden, I was like, I'm out. We're not going to tell us the whole story. We're not going to look into everything. Then I don't want to look at it at all. And since I didn't really care if they impeached Trump, I never looked into it. Because whether they impeach him or not, we didn't win. We didn't win nothing. There ain't no prize. See what I'm saying? Like, so you get rid of Trump. What'd you win? You can get no prize. Well, check your mailbox. There ain't nothing in it. There won't be no impeachment prize. They don't solve nothing. It's like Andrew Yang's $1,000 a month. It don't solve nothing. Yeah, $1,000 would be nice, but it don't solve nothing. $1,000 don't solve my problems. That ain't what I want. I don't want $1,000 a month. I want health care. I want my taxes to go to my benefit, to benefit the people, to benefit society. I want a society that's about justice and about the people and not endless war and corporate greed. That's what I want. But again, this is not a political show. It's becoming one tonight. Kathy says, sorry for getting political on your show. No, no. You are absolutely fine. You are a guest in this house. And if you want to get political, we'll turn it into a political show. We're at the audience part now. I rambled on and on about the media. And the media shut it down. Did you notice that? The highest we got tonight in viewers was 5. We've been growing. This show's been growing, and we've been growing a good audience. I know that this was suppression, and it angers me, but that's the situation that we're in. This is reality of the situation now. This corporate censorship is what we're fighting now. And it's the reality of it. They can shut you down. They can throttle your what you put out there. They do it on all different levels to everybody. We need to be worried about that. And we need to do all we can to fight that. That's what this show's about, is waking people up, spreading truth, getting things out there. Richard says, just for fun, they, the rulers of the third dimension, are malevolent fourth dimensional entities inhabiting human form, and through interbreeding, they have representation in all cross sections of society and within the family union. Since they can differentiate between us and them, they were able to move themselves into all positions of influence in the third dimension. They infiltrated and control Western politics, government, media, military, banking, education, corporations, policing, courts, prisons, etc. And they used their multidimensional advantage to create a false sense of reality to further their New World Order agenda of conquest and domination. Some people refer to them as reptilian or Draco-human hybrids. I wasn't sure where you were going at first. You could have been talking about the Illuminati. You know what I mean? But some people think they're intermarried too, the Illuminati and the reptilians. And I don't. I like David Icke. David Icke would probably be the one I would point to as the because I'm not informed. You may know of a better person to look into for information on reptilians, but David Icke has some pretty good talks about it that I've watched. It's very interesting, and there is, some compelling evidence, some video stuff and some things I've seen. Kathy says the shutdown BS happens every time I get into the juicy bits. Oh, I know. I know. And this recent bit of throttling started over me having a fixation on talking about Epstein. For a while, that was real important to me. It still is, but I was really focusing on it, especially when I realized they were throttling me for it. Then I got mad and started doing it all the time. And some people know that there was like endless feeds all about Epstein. It's all I wanted to talk about. But yeah, they throttle me anytime I'm talking about truth. And, I did a whole show tonight about the media being a weapon, so of course it's going to be throttled. That's okay. That's something we're fighting. Just support independent media, support independent shows, support the truth. Whenever you find it, do all you can to support it. Share it out, spread it, help it grow. But on the reptilian thing, I'll just throw out my theory on that. It's very interesting, and I'm very into it. I would look into it and do it. I would cover it in a conspiracy theories and chill because it's fascinating. It really is. I would like to interview somebody. My dream would be to interview Ike about it. But maybe, like I said, maybe you can point me at a better expert. But I think what people are talking about when they talk about reptilians are demons that walk among us. That's just my own personal thought. I think demons are real, and that's what these reptilians are. But that's my thing. I would cover it from whatever angle, though. And that's another thing I want to get into before we wrap up tonight is that anything you guys want to see moving forward, let me know and I'll cover it. I make these shows for you guys. This is a professional live streaming from now on. This is one of my featured shows. So there are links in the description for how you can support me in this venture. We'll be doing these regularly. If you enjoyed the show, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central, there'll be a conspiracy theories and chill. But I do need topics. So anything you guys want to know about, want to hear about, want to see, let me know and I'll cover it, whether I like it or not. These are for you guys. So, you know, there's lots of ways to support the show, and helping me out with picking topics is a big one because that's something I struggle with. Like, I need a topic for next week. I have some in mind. We could go through them. I have some written down if I find it in that page of notes. I have like 6 pages of notes for the media. I wasted my time on all these dates, like dates when everything happened. Like the first satellite TV broadcast was in 1962. Like, why were we going to need that? You know what I mean? 1948, the first cable television system. Who needs to know that? HD was first introduced in 1983. I mean, I wrote this stuff down. We might as well get into it. You know what I'm saying? But this is a weekly show, and tune in next week. I don't have a topic yet. Hey, Tina Bobina. It just showed me your name. I hope you just got here. Comment, Tina. Is there a conspiracy that you like? Something you want to talk about? I would have got more into the reptilian thing, but I don't know a whole lot about it. Like I said, I've only watched a few talks by David Icke on reptilians. Lately, I've been looking into Corey Good's research. Um, well, I mean, it's life experience. He says this stuff happened to him, so I don't know what to call it though, other than research. His talks and his this stuff is really interesting, and it has to do with otherworldly beings anyway. He says he has had relationships with two different alien races, and they both showed him the end of the world. And we're not in for a very good end. I gotta tell you, it doesn't look good for us if he's right. But that stuff's fascinating. And I'll look into anything. I want to figure out how to cover that too, the Corey Good stuff, if Herbert's here or if Herbert watches this later on. I'm going to figure out how to cover that. You almost got to be a scientist, though. It's so complicated, and it gets into interplanetary travel, and it's all over the place. But I'm going to figure out how to get a hold of it and nail it down because Herbert wants to see that. So that's something we'll get into, and that's fascinating. We can get into anything at all on conspiracy theories and chill, and I want to hear from you what you want to see. Nissa, if you're still here, I'm trying to line up a guy to interview about Bigfoot. Nissa wants to hear about Bigfoot. And there's a guy I want to reach out to who is he's a little bit of an expert on Bigfoot, and it would be really interesting. He was a good guest when he was on my friend's show, and hopefully he'll do my little show, you know. Um, but I guess Tina's not here anymore. But let me know in the comments, even later on, if you watch this later on, let me know what you want to hear about, what you want to see, and we'll cover it in an upcoming episode of Conspiracy Theories and Chill. And let's see, what's another interesting statistic I wrote down? The internet began in 1965, but no one knew about it. And the military adopted the program in 1969. So the internet was militarized before anybody even knew it existed. I thought that was pretty interesting. Didn't surprise me, but I thought it was interesting. But let me know anything you guys want to get into before we wrap up. This has been Conspiracy Theories and Chill. It's a weekly show, like I said, every Wednesday at 8. Kathy says demons are real. Men in Black covered it in a funny way, but they're not aliens. They are humans like the Koch brothers. Trump is one. Just my opinion. Demons are real. I fully believe that. I believe it. I mean, if you don't, I respect your beliefs, but I do. I believe it. I believe demons are real. I believe demons walk among us. I believe they have power over us. I believe there's evidence of it everywhere, and that we literally live in the age of deceit. That's what I believe. I believe there's dark forces that lord over us and have influence over our lives. And that's the kind of things we get into on this show, is my beliefs in that direction. But thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next week for another episode. And like I said, let me know what you want to see. We can get into anything. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.